I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My mother had come to the United States from England. So I grew up in a little row house in Philadelphia. We never had a car. Having said that, I was able to get a great education. I went to public schools. I went on from there to University of Pennsylvania. And at the University of Pennsylvania, this was in the 60s, I had a class in honors in English, and we had to write a dissertation. In other words, thesis, in order to earn honors. And I said to my professor in charge of the class, well, I would like to do my thesis on African American novelists. And he said to me, why would you want to do that? They haven't written anything worth reading. And I said, well, professor, how will I know that if I don't read what they've written? Here I am, a senior at an Ivy League college, and I've had a very good education, but I've never read anything by an African American novelist. He said, well, if you do that, you may not get honors in English. I said, I'll take the risk. So I read about novels by James Baldwin, Alex Haley, Malcolm X, and that opened up a whole new world to me, Ralph Ellison, and I submitted my dissertation. Everyone else in my class received honors in English, and I heard nothing. But then James Baldwin came out on the cover of Time magazine, and I received honors in English.
So it was because of that?
During my time in college, I met someone that I married. I became pregnant. I gave birth, and I also ended up getting divorced. My daughter's grown up, and she's an attorney today. My granddaughter's also an attorney, and my grandson is in law school. So I think that they got a good education. Of course, I've taken both of my grandchildren when they were younger on picket lines as well, to not only get the education academically, but also the life experience that we need to stand up for the rights of others as well as our own rights. Ultimately, I did go to law school. I've become a partner in the firm of Allred, Morocco, and Goldberg, which I helped to found more than 45 years ago, with two law school classmates of mine, Michael Morocco and Nathan Goldberg, and we're still practicing. We are the leading women's rights law firm in the United States and minority rights law firm in the United States. We have many precedent-setting cases for women and minorities and protection under the law. I've always said nobody gives us our rights as women and minorities. No one gave us the right to vote, for example. We had to fight, and we had to win it. So I have picketed, I have lobbied in legislatures, I have testified, I have brought cases, argued cases, won cases, and in the courthouse and in the court of public opinion. I've represented young children in lawsuits, and I've represented many people of all ages, of all races, sexual orientation, and I'm just so inspired by my clients and by their courage and by the fact that they have learned that they have more strength and courage to win justice than they ever realized they had. I really think that it's the totality of my experience as a woman, my life experience. In other words, when I went to school, high school, college, master's degree, and law degree, I really learned little or nothing about the status of women and minorities. And I'll tell you, even during that time, I had no idea what is a gay person, what is a lesbian person, what is a transgender person, and the difficulties that racial minorities suffer. Uh, so I learned more about it as I went, and the more I learned about the discrimination against individuals and the fact that they were denied their rights and treated as second class citizens, and could suffer because of that, suffering economically, socially, often physically, uh, that it was wrong. And that's why I began to do my part. Each of us should live our values, should live our beliefs. And, I believed in what the famous labor organizer, Mother Jones, said, which is don't agonize, organize. So I realized that I had to do my part to win change. And that's what I did. I had no idea that 45 years later, there would still be such a need to fight for our rights, stand up for our rights, but we still have a long way to go. So I would say to younger people, for example, when you feel that what has happened to you has been unfair, unjust, and you look up in the sky and you say, why me? Well, ask that question as you look up. Why not you? Because maybe this is going to help you to be more committed to helping to win change for yourself and others as you get older. And I always say, people who've been victims of injustice often have a lot of rage, a lot of anger about what has happened to them. And I say, don't turn that rage inward and cause yourself to either become alcoholic or addicted to drugs or depressed, which is all rage turned inward and a way to try to escape, but it's harmful to yourself. And don't try to tranquilize yourself out of the anger and rage either. Turn it outward into constructive, positive action to help win change for yourself and for others.